Hello and welcome to the last Lilith in the Zodiac reading. We have hit Lilith in, actually no, I shouldn't say that. We have floated into Lilith in Pisces, Lilith in the 12th house. This is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to like it. So immediately okay, so what I do is I'll sit down before I do the Lilith readings, and I'll use my phone, which I'm recording with right now, and I'll start Googling like Lilith and Pisces, for example, and I make all my notes, and then I'll go through all of that, find as much information as I can that seems relevant to other information, and I'll go and Google Lilith in 12th house and look into that as well. So and then I'll sit down and I'll pick out, usually it's the Oracle card. I kind of wait to see which ones I'm being called to use. And then I've always been using this big stack of tarot, which is 2 decks combined, the Heaven and Earth deck and the Murder of Crows deck. I will not be using that. So this is the funny thing. So before I sat down, but before I did this, I immediately got the message of what Oracle deck I was going to pick. Oh God, what? Oh yeah. So it makes so much sense. The Starseed deck, my Starseed Oracle deck. I thought, oh well, dreamy Pisces. Here we go. So, and then I did my research. So that happened. Usually it happens the other way. Do my research, pick the deck. So I picked the deck first, did the research, and then it made sense. I thought, oh, that seems right. And then it was just so clear that I was not to pick up the deck that I have used for all of the other Lilith readings. Pisces is getting something completely different. They're getting the Fountain Tarot, which almost looks like Strange Dreams to me. So again, it makes a lot of sense. So it's cosmic, it's dreamy. Here we go. So again, as I've said in all of them, and I will say it one more time, if your sun is in Pisces and you're interested in Lilith, this is not necessarily your reading. You can read them or watch them. I have a few people that have watched all of them, and I found them all quite interesting. But the idea is that Lilith sits in a zodiac placement for you. So there's a link down in the description of this video on how to determine what Lilith sits in, what zodiac sign she sits in for you. So that's where you would go. And then to figure out the house placement for it is to go to a regular astrological chart. And so let's say Lilith is sitting in Scorpio. So what house does your Scorpio sit in? And then you'll know what Lilith is sitting in. So that's how you do that. Because the house can be a little bit, the house can kind of be like how or where and what parts of your life this Lilith energy shows up. But definitely like they can play back and forth, and they kind of do in this one. So this one's interesting. I also want to say that this is the only one where childhood trauma was not discussed. I didn't find it in anything I looked up. So I don't know if I missed it, but I didn't find it. So that's interesting. So anything else to say? There will be an extended. That's always very open to what the extended is going to be. I leave that up to Lilith. So if you're drawn to it, the link to that is also at the top of the description within this video. So let's get started. Before I go into the cards, I always go into my research to kind of talk about this sign a little bit. So we're going to start with the Lilith and Pisces, then I'll talk about Lilith in 12th house. Lilith and Pisces. Sorry, if my voice seems scratchy, my eyes are dried out. I was laughing so hard. This comedian, I actually put it in the community section of my... I haven't laughed that hard, and I don't know how long. It's long too. It's a 35-minute stand-up, and it went by so fast. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. So no. Okay. Lilith and Pisces. Oh, it's Joe DeVito, I think is what it is. So I don't know if he's related to Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's a kid. I'm not sure. Anyways, Lilith and Pisces. Fascination with self-sacrifice and blending into others. Again, because Pisces is a very mutable sign. Prophetic visions or death. So I'm just going to say it right now. I kind of skimmed over that quick, didn't I? Prophetic visions or death. if there was ever a placement where someone was going to show up, not early on in life, it's going to take time to develop it and create it, as a very shamanic figure, this is it. It's right here. These are, I want to say, this would be where like Buddha, shamans, medicine men and women, this is it. This is the prophets. This is like where that energy is. It's right here with Lilith. And maybe that's why there isn't really like a discussion about childhood trauma. It's really weird. Like, it didn't seem to be something that came up, which surprised me, because it was always the basis of all of the Lilith readings. Like, it was about how we processed that. So, yeah, prophetic visions, visions of death, and all sorts of visions. The ability to feel connected to everything with their deepest thoughts and the cosmic soul. See, this is kind of it in a very healthy way. So this is it in a very healthy way. But you can see, like, there is downfalls to feeling the cosmic heartbeat, like, let's say the cosmic soul, because not everything in the cosmos is pure. Not everyone in the cosmos is pure. The ability to feel connected to everything, that's hard. I mean, this is not my placement, but I'm very empathic, and that's very draining. That's very physically exhausting, emotionally depleting. I feel like it almost affects your endocrine system on some level. I'm just putting that out there. I don't know that it does with this sign, but it kind of feels like it might. Now, this is the thing. So there's certain careers or directions in life that would be really beneficial with Lilith and Pisces. Midwives, death doulas, prophets, wise men and women. The midwives and the death doulas, that one's like maybe a little easier to find, but I don't know if you can look at like monster.com or .ca to get a job and go for it. Does anyone need a prophet, a wise man or woman to come and talk to? But like that, like you really, like even like what I'm doing here, you probably have a really natural ability for it. Although, well, that's the thing too. Like what I'm doing here is different than sitting on a mountain and waiting for people to come to you and saying the very peaceful words and giving them the information. You know, there's a sense of dynamic energy that has to come with this too. But definitely you got the prophet thing. Okay, but may also perceive the deepest sufferings in life and succumb to various dubious mystical ways that they believe can bring healing to people. Kind of like snake oil salesmen. See, like there's a, as I've always said with Lilith, there is a scale. So where you're sitting on that scale, don't be the snake oil salesman, but don't also, I think you're more prone to give in to the snake oil salesman because you think, oh, this sounds beautiful. This is very different. I can feel how this would really help me. Be careful. Oh yeah, now this falls into Pisces and the 12th house. Addiction. So be aware of alcohol. Oh, now this is kind of funny. I have a morbid sense of humor though, and I've discovered because my Lilith is in Scorpio, that probably explains all of it. So, but it says, beware of alcohol, foot injury, and loss of consciousness. I read that too after laughing so hard at that comedian. So just, you know, just be aware of the lack of loss of consciousness thing. That could be a problem. I don't even know what they meant by that. Like, to me, I don't know if that's like really just passing out or bumping your head a lot and knocking yourself out. But I kind of, after reading all of this, I kind of took that in terms of, this can be an energy, this can be a placement that is just like in woo-woo land. You can just go there, you can daydream a whole world for yourself, and reality is gone. So I want to kind of say that. That's what I would say, because that's a bit of an addiction. Not even, I think, does come up as an addictive capacity with this placement, if not this placement in the house. Oh yeah, here we go. Lost in fantasy and unable to pull your weight in life, or overly grounded and realistic to a point of being a downer. Oh, that was hard to say. I bit my tongue. Yeah. So again, these are the scales. These are sort of the extreme ends of the scale here. Like you can be so lost in the fantasy world. It is almost like a loss of consciousness. You're just in the subconscious world. You're not getting things done. You can't relate. You're just thinking about wonderful things or dreaming about stuff. The kids' laundry hasn't been washed in 3 weeks. There's holes in the ceiling. Like, it's real. That's extreme. Or, yeah, now here's the, like, because this is always with Lilith, like, it's a push and pull. You can, like, pull something in real strong, or you can completely refuse it. So I think the ideal here is to find the balance, which is really in everything in life. Don't be so overly grounded and realistic to a point of being a downer, because life is not created without dreams, and you have a capacity to really create dreams, which means you do have a capacity to transform things into reality. It's really nice. Addictions, beware! Exclamation mark. Alcohol, sex, drugs, maladaptive daydreaming. So I don't know. There's really not much else to say about that. I guess if you can be aware of it. I would say, like, too, because this is often linked to, you know, people who are very empathic. They absorb feelings, because that's a lot of Pisces. Pisces is mutable and psychic, and like they're just like a big sponge, you know, sucking up all this stuff. So there's a tendency to want to try to figure out how to close it off, how to numb it. And that can sometimes be directed into alcohol or even sex, all of that stuff. But, you know, try to find healthy ways to close that off, like ways that you can ground yourself effectively. Give yourself time for meditation. Give yourself time in nature. Give yourself time swimming in water, or just floating in a bath, or having a shower. Pulling away from outside energy sources. Give yourself that time so that you don't hit a point where you need something artificial to try to numb it out. Enhance sensitivity, creativity, and vivid imagination. If all of the fascination of psychology, mythology, archetypes, and humanity and themselves integrated with age in a balanced way, one can become very wise. And that's what I said, like a shaman, potato. Yeah, like this is a pretty cool placement. It really is. This is, I want to say, probably, and it's funny because here we are at the end. It's it is almost the catalyst to moving out into the cosmos placement. This can come out in an opposite way. Oh, okay, from what I just described. Like having so the fascination you might find with psychology, mythology, archetypes, humanity, and yourself. You integrate this all together, like in a balanced and healthy way. You can become very, very wise with age. Now, this can come out in an opposite way, and you can reject all things spiritual, anything beyond your physical reality. It's not true. It doesn't happen. That's bullshit. Not being aware of your emotions, especially your negative ones. These, like, yeah, it's not, I think the thing with Lilith is to embrace all of these aspects that come up, that are just discussed with Lilith, is to embrace them in a healthy way and to work through them and work with them. And that's really how you find, one of the many ways of finding success in life. So if you do find yourself really pushing away at spiritual things, although it'd be funny if you be at this reading and you do push away, but you could be a heckler. That's true. You can't say anything now, though, can you? So, take a look, because you're supposed to really be one of the most psychics. That's going to come out in the 12th house too. Like really psychic, really having like incredible abilities. So, you know, kind of try to look into it if you're really closed off to it, because you're kind of, you know, paddling upstream with one paddle or one oar. It's almost like a whole aspect of you here that you could really utilize. And so here's also talks about, like I talked about, midwives, death doulas, prophets, and wise men and women, good career paths for you. Here's some more practical ones. Actors, authors, artists, photographers, writers, storytellers, etc. Well, sometimes I'm just so caught up in reading what I've reading what I've written. But yeah, so like very creative pursuits. And I really think authors too. Authors and writers, maybe even of like children's books or a sci-fi. Yeah, all that, it's just really like it's be a really cool energy to have like this so naturally. So Lilith in the 12th house. So now we're going into the house. May be subjected to a lot of fears and struggle with enforcing your boundaries, again, being very mutable. May block out your trauma or negative experiences and likely experience your Lilith themes in your dreams. Now that one, I thought, oh shit. Is that good or is that bad? How do you decide that? Because dream, for many of us, like or sleep too, is a place to go and close everything off and just rest. It's a place to rest. So on one aspect, I thought because of all the Lilith stuff and all the other houses, it shows up in your life. Like it shows up in your community, it shows up in your work, it shows up in your sex life, it shows up in your childhood. But here, it really shows up in your dreams. And to me, dreams seem like a point of refuge. They can be. I mean, I've always actually had really vivid dreams. And sometimes, like, if life is really boring, I'm like, I'm looking forward to going to sleep because it's going to be more interesting than what I've been living lately. But, yeah, because Lilith is often dark things that we're working through. Something, could you be more prone to nightmares? Like scary dreams. Because some people would say, well, that's okay. Then they don't have to deal with all this shit in real life. But you could be losing your area of refuge. So I don't know. Is it a good or a bad thing? Okay, you may also often help others at your own expense. Yeah, there's a bit of a need to please in this house placement. Okay, you may be fascinated by your subconscious or try to completely deny it. Let's see, these two echo quite a bit, the house placement with Pisces. May be afraid of the supernatural, but at the same time, you will be more receptive to it than most others. Yeah, right? Yeah. Which is, yeah. I actually related to that statement. I don't know. I don't have this placement, so I don't know. But I always had a very uncomfortable feeling with the supernatural. And it really bothered me. And I've worked through it and figured it out. I have a very strong feeling that I was very psychic and had intuitive abilities in a past life or past lives. I'm pretty sure I used it in a bad way. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I used it to my own advantage. And perhaps either to profit from it purely or to find people's weaknesses where I could get, I just think I did something bad with it. So I just came into this lifetime being really weary of it, like almost feeling like a karmic connection to it. Like, doesn't feel good. It didn't feel good to me. And I picked that up and like, for some of you, like, this is what that feels like, this statement. May be afraid of the supernatural, but at the same time, you'll be more receptive to it than most people around you. So it took me time to work through that. And I did it in kind of baby steps. And I continue, I guess, really to do it every day to keep growing and expanding it. And I have learned that I think this is also what I do right now. I do make money doing this, but that's not why I started this channel. I didn't even know I could make money doing it, actually. I just did it to grow my craft, learn more, and to read more energy. And that's what that's why I sit down to do that. Like, I think about the money that this makes me when I have to pay my bills. So that's kind of when otherwise I'm just doing this, but that's the purity of it. So maybe there is something there, like maybe there's something you experienced in a past life, or maybe something from childhood that's made you afraid of the supernatural or apprehensive about it. It's definitely worth taking some baby steps if that's resonating with you to try to clear it up, because this is a very psychic placement. Okay, you may not see clearly in relationships with a tendency to be the victim. Again, so it's also going to depend on like what your other astrological placements are, what kind of balance or imbalance it gives to all of this. but not noticing red flags early on and falling prey to manipulation. Now, this is also about like how grounded you are in your fantasy world, because we can build fantasies around people too. We can just see like the things that we really like about them, but not see the red flags around them either. And some of those red flags, like everyone's going to have red flags about something. Like we always talk about the red flag, out the red flag. Well, I haven't met a perfect person yet, and I'm not perfect, right? The red flag depends on how that affects you. Does it cause you to react or project something? If so, then it's probably not compatible. But, you know, you can see a red flag and go, oh, that doesn't seem like a terribly healthy thing that the person's doing, but it doesn't really bother me. Hopefully they'll work through it. I don't know. But it's like kind of trying, don't paint a pretty picture. Don't look at everything through rose-colored glasses. If you open up your intuition, I don't know. I found intuition really, well, that might be it too. I'm working through my own past life trauma right here with you. Yeah, because I find it hard to read like my own life and the lives of people right around me intuitively. But I can read everybody else. But again, maybe because I feel like I used these gifts in a past life in a bad way. So maybe I'm not allowed to use it for myself in this life. Look at, I'm working through my Lilith trauma with y'all right now. Okay. Detached from reality when under stress. Oh, you want a turtle. Not really turtle. It's almost like just run the other way. It's a possibility. I'm not saying you do that. It's a possibility. Detached from reality when under stress. That's also too like not wanting conflict. Because Pisces is also a very like kind and loving and sweet sign. You know, when it's healthy. It can be mean. It can be mean. I've met some. Everyone can be mean. So anyway, so... yeah, there's a tendency to run away from problems. Substance abuse, watch out for this. It comes up often in this placement. And that's also like trying to run away from the problems. You know, one really good thing to think about is if you have problems in life and you feel like you can't face them, you want to run away from them, and you want to try to escape them through alcohol or drugs, I will tell you. Well, this is not from experience though. It's definitely from people that I've seen this happen to, is that those problems will get bigger. The problem will not get smaller. It will get bigger and bigger and bigger and more complicated. There could be an interest in the occult and esoteric teaching, strong psychic ability as well. Psychic. It's like a flashing billboard in this house placement. Psychic. Oh yeah, a secret love affair. Oh no, secret love affairs can be the cause for scandals. Lilith in this placement will try to leak out your secrets. That's the thing that goes on here that's kind of like, oh. In this house placement, it didn't talk about it so much in Pisces. I didn't really get that here. But I wouldn't put it past her, to be honest. So definitely, yeah. Because the 12th house is very secretive. It's dreams. It's the unknown. Yeah, and Lilith's trying to leak that shit out. So why is the love affair secretive? Right? Like, face it. Well, I don't know. Whose business is it anyways? Oh, yeah, nightmares. So that, okay, I did write that. Vivid dreams and deja vu experiences. Oh. So, yeah, it is an invasion. To me, it does feel like a bit of an invasion of what should really be a point of refuge, to be able to go to sleep at night and rest. Yeah. Oh, I got an asterisk here. Got a little star thing. If Lilith is close to your ascendant, its influence is more profound. So that's why it is kind of important here to figure out what house Lilith is in. Okay, so let's say, like, I don't know. I'm not really good at astrology, so I'm trying to see my own chart, but that's not working. Although, no, it kind of is, actually. First house is... I don't know. Someone just Google that. I'm not really sure, but it's just, it said that, and I thought, well, that's interesting. because it's kind of like what you're rising to. It's also often like your ascendant is also, you often take on more of the personality traits and are seen more like whatever your ascendant or your rising sign is. So if that is close here in placement to Lilith, then see, I don't know how that works. Wouldn't that work? Because isn't the first and the 12th house beside each other? So isn't your ascendant? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I think mine is. So maybe that's why I think it is. But yeah. Okay. So don't follow me for astrology advice. I just reads the cards and gives you the messages. So that's what I got. Let's start with this. Oh, this is the other thing too. I gotta just try not to be such a Sherlock Holmes in this one, as I understand it. I did receive the messages. I was getting ready to turn the camera on and I had things pre-shuffled. Actually, it was a little more while I was pre-shuffling. I may not understand the message that comes out. Okay. That's all good. It might be one of those. I'm not supposed to reach too hard to try to understand it, which is, okay, that's a challenge for me, so I have to try to respect that. Okay. Lilith in Pisces, Lilith in 12th house. Honey, darling, what do you want to talk about for the last time with them? Oh, don't. She's telling me this is not the last time. I want to do my irregular shit, Lilith. Okay, Lilith in Pisces, Lilith in 12th house. Oh, this card messes with my brain. Shit. Is this what it's like to be you? Oh, look at this. This is perfect. Oh my God. Is it hard to I'm getting the message like you could have a day and in that day you could have real experiences in that day. And then like in and out of those experiences, you have like little fantasies or daydreams that play out. And then the next day, it's hard to detach. Did I really have that discussion with that person? Or was that part of my daydream? That's what I'm getting here. With this, it's almost like you are in and out of the matrix. And it can be difficult to differentiate what happened in the matrix and what happened in the ethereal for you. It all blends together. Could you be like a Neo from the matrix? Like, could you manipulate the matrix then? I can't look at the picture. It really messes with my head. I gotta cover it to read this. You got the love. Hadarian energy, codependency and boundaries. Oh, I gotta read this. What is Hadarian energy? It's obviously got to be like one of the star planets, like, you know, where they say star seeds and whatnot come from. Codependency and boundaries. Well, that's definitely in this sign for sure. I feel like it's almost hard for you to pull yourself out. I feel like all the words that I've been saying about, you know, like, have boundaries, you may have a tendency to be manipulated by people. I almost feel like even that is difficult. Did that person really say that? Did they manipulate me? Or did I fantasize about them manipulating me? Where's the book? Where is the book? Look at that picture. I really feel like when I look at that picture, it feels like being in multiple dimensions, multiple timelines, and feeling confused about it. She told me I didn't have to understand this reading, so I'm gonna go with that. Oh. I thought I saw it. Are these in alphabetical order? How do I find it? You. Yeah, okay. Okay, you got the love. The Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love, who see love in all people and situations. Oh, that's so Piscean. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships. I've never seen boundaries like that. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. Oh, that's very dreamy. The lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body. To learn to love self first and then establish healthy relationships with others. To remember that the love they seek is already within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you're in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. It's common for starseeds to dive deep into relationships, particularly with those who feel safe and familiar at a soul level. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you give more than you receive, or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it and you're always unsure where you stand. This card is assigned to do a relationship review and see what energetic agreements you've made, consciously or unconsciously. To acknowledge if there are relationships in which you feel anxious or powerless, in which you don't feel like it's safe to relax and just be you. To assess if there are any places of inadequacy that you've used a relationship to soothe and cover up. That really is interesting because it sounds an awful lot like what we're talking about. Okay, so here we have, like, there's a little helper questions here for you. How do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? Oh no, that doesn't make sense. Do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? So think about that. How can you develop a deeper love for yourself? I think that's it. I think it's just those 2 pages for each one. Yes. Now I want to look at the bottom. Oh, it feels like I'm being pulled into different dimensions with that. Ooh, what is this? Earthed. Wow. Learn how to be human in the world, but not of it. Yeah. See, that's what really this is. It's like, you're really, I don't know, maybe this placement does have a tendency to be much more, oh, that's an interesting message, much more cosmic than anything else. Probably more likely to have starseed placements, but you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that there's 2 things that go on with this placement. People that have this placement. So, if you are like a new starseed, like, you know, you're kind of new to Earth, see myself, I don't feel like that. I feel like I've been here for a long time. I'm ready to go. But you're a new, see, there's 2 things here. I'm seeing 2 placements. This is like, to me, what babies and old people are. Babies and old people are both really, really close to the cosmos, at least closer than the rest of us. Because once you're kind of in the middle, you're very grounded here on Earth. So the middle part of your life, like, and that's why I think as children too, like I had a lot of prophetic dreams as a child and really vivid things that went on. It's kind of faded as I've gotten older because I just know I'm more grounded and I know my own spirit guides are trying harder and harder to communicate with me than when I was younger. But as I get older and I get closer back to going back up into all of us, up into the cosmos, you kind of pull away from that grounded feeling. So I feel like people in this placement, whether 12th house, Pisces, I'm going to say either one, because maybe it's back and forth. Maybe in the first lifetime here on Earth, maybe you experience it with Lilith and Pisces. Maybe in the very last lifetime placement, last lifetime here, you experience this in the 12th house. Like maybe you have it in another zodiac placement. But this feels very strongly to me like individuals that feel much more like their reality is cosmic. Whether that's because you've just arrived on Earth, so you're still, that's still very fresh about being cosmic, and you're trying to learn how to be human. And for others of you, you're getting ready to exit. So you've been here a long time. You've been shamans, you've been medicine people, you've been divinators, you've been all sorts of things through this lifetime and trying to change the world and prepare it for the new star seeds that are coming in. Change the vibrational frequency of it. But because you are about to exit, you're losing that tether. You're losing that tether here on Earth, and you kind of feel like this weird shift sometimes where Your dreams and your fantasies might seem much more real than what you experienced yesterday, like really with people. So I'm not having difficulty following it, but it's definitely not what I expected from Lilith. She never ceases to surprise me. So we're going to go into the tarot. Look at that. Ace of Cups and Three of Swords at the bottom. Oh, I used to have some dreams. I remember my mom thought I was crazy. She's like, what kind of a child has these dreams? I don't know. Yeah. I used to have dreams about, I call them the cloud people. Actually, they weren't dreams. I'm pretty sure they were out-of-body experiences. Because I felt, actually, this is kind of what it was like. I would wake up from it, and I think I had them up until about puberty, these dreams, or these out-of-body experiences at night. And I would like wake up and I could literally like a tether. I could just still feel myself connected to them. And it left me feeling like disembodied. It was a weird feeling. And I would literally, I'd get out of bed and I would try to walk around the house in the night. And then I would go in the bathroom and sit on the toilet. I think because it was cold porcelain, I would just sit on it. Like I need something to try to, and it would take me 20 to 30 minutes just sitting there to finally feel grounded, to finally feel like I was connected to my body. It was a really weird experience. The cloud people don't visit me anymore. Don't sound crazy. I don't care anymore. It was what I experienced, and what are you going to do? I think a lot of people experience some really interesting and weird stuff, especially when they're younger. People say, you're nuts. I don't know. I never did anything bad. All right, Lilith. I like this placement. I feel very comfortable in it. Let's see what you got for us, honey. Five cards. Oh, okay. That one wanted to come out. I was told to pick it out. 5 cards. Is that the 5th? No, okay. 1. Wow. 2. Okay, you pull out the moon and the star to start. The 9 of Cups, the Empress, the 4 of Swords. Oh yeah, this won't be there. Oh no, there's an upside down. 7 of Swords, healing. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. What is this? This was, oh, the Ace of Coins. Okay, I like that. So that's to explain this. Thank you. Okay, you have the moon. Oh, these look like, oh, what are those things called? Those things that come out of the ground. Or no, they land from space. Damn, what are they called? It's in like, anyways. Oh, gosh, what are those called? Shit. Because it's a message. They are, do y'all know what I mean? Those things that just appear out of nowhere. Was it 2001: A Space Odyssey? Yeah, they had them in that. And they're just like some sort of metal or stone. Oh God, the word's on the tip of my tongue. And it's okay. I don't know. I'm just getting the message like there's something to do with this. I need to pull this whole thing out. I got to try not to understand it. That's what I have to do too. Okay. So there is something that communicates. There's something here on earth that communicates to you, is what I'm hearing. This is a very different message. There's something here on earth that communicates to you. And honest to God, it could be in a desert somewhere and nobody's seen it. Nobody's found it right now. I feel like these move around, or they could be in the ocean. These ones are in the ocean and they communicate to you. Wow. Who are you? You've got something going on here, like really cosmically. Hadarian energy. I don't look up as much as you can about, like, what do we know? Everything we know about, like, Pleiadians, Hadarians, it's all philosophical, it's all metaphysical, it's all divinated information. Maybe even explore it on your own. What you see the truth in that is how you know yourself to be. Yeah. Okay, I didn't show you all the cards. I got wrapped up in that moon card. And that's what it does. It pulls you in. The Star. The Seven of Wands. The Four of Wands. Yeah, you all, this is definitely a starseed placement. And I say starseed like it's exactly what I described. Some of you have been here for lifetimes and you're about to leave, and others of you have just got here. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And then the card that I was told that wanted to come out, and I was to pull it out, it's the explanation, is the Ace of Coins, a new beginning. Okay, just go with me cosmically here, my friends. I think this is your placement, you'll be fine with that. So not all of this needs explanation or even will be understood at this time. But there is something. There's something that's used to communicate with you, and it's in the ocean. It comes to you in your dreams, particularly on full moons when the moon is setting. So whatever time that is, like if that can change, you know, where you are in the time of year. Sometimes it can be like the moon is setting early in the evening, or, you know, again, like late in the evening or early in the morning. Kind of keep track of that. Like if you feel like there's some sort of information or answers that are meant to come to you, utilize that moon cycle. The full moon is it almost just magnifies whatever these, God darn it, I wish I could remember what they're called. I'm sure 90% of you are yelling through the screen what those things are called. I keep hearing hieroglyphics, but that's not it. It's not it at all. Although it kind of works in a way like that because it is a type of communication device, but it is specific. It goes like right into your head. And the star, you are the antenna. So here's the other thing. You are the antenna. So you are like the receiver. You receive this information. You are the antenna. To receive the information as clearly as possible, follow these moon cycles. Try to, you know, as well as you can. I mean, we all have life responsibilities, but, you know, if the moon is setting, I'm really hearing setting. For some reason, when it's setting, is when the signal is strongest for you. Because, okay, this is really neat. Like, this is really prophetic. So the Seven of Wands into the Four of Wands. Like, you are kind of meant to shift. You're meant to, like, receive this information. It might not even be clear to you. It might just come out in your life as a daydream or a really exciting idea. It could be a book to write. It could be a piece of artwork to paint. It could be an idea to share with your community or your family. It could be a new way to start living your life. But whatever it is, it takes defensive energy and it takes it in a very beautiful and colorful way, and turns it into celebration. It takes what other people cannot receive. Okay, see that? You see how this person is holding the antenna. This person is holding the antenna, and all these other antennas are like at it. Other people can't receive this information. You're literally a conduit. You are an antenna, and then then they all receive. See how all these antennas are now receiving, right? Look at that. See, you are the original antenna. You hold the antenna, so you hold the information and you do something with it. All these others, they might even think, oh, yeah, Lilith and Pisces is a little bit weird. Let them think that, because at some point it makes sense. It's kind of like this reading, maybe. At some point it makes sense. I guess it does. It's just not anything like, I need a new chair. This one is getting too hard on my butt. It's not like any other Lilith reading. This is like pulling it in and celebrating. Often long after you're gone, though, because you're not even in this picture. So you could even, like, you could, you know, here's an example. You could work somewhere and, well, hopefully you do at some point. You work somewhere and you wake up one morning after having a dream. Actually, my Pisces friend, her husband was telling me about this, that she will dream her ideas and then she makes them real. She makes notes. So she's always redoing the garden. So I don't know if her Lilith is in Pisces, her sun is in Pisces, but like, this is that kind of energy where you had a dream. Specifically, she'll have a dream, full details about which plant should go where in the garden and how it will look. And then she'll wake up and she'll get her dream journal and she'll make her notes. I'm going to get a hosta and I'm going to put it on the southwest corner. It's there. And like that, like you could have a dream about an idea of something like that to do. And maybe it is just a garden or something at work, whatever it is. And then you want to execute it. So now you like, okay, I have this idea. Look at the way he's jumping out. I have this idea. I want to share it with you. But, you know, the Seven of Wands is defenses. So people are kind of like, never heard of this before. That sounds a little bit odd. Nobody's ever done it like that before. I don't think so. That doesn't seem, no, I don't think so. So here's the thing. You may encounter that quite a bit in life where your shared ideas, your fantasies, your inspirations may not feel grounded by others. But what happens is, it's almost like after you leave, after you've exited the situation, it makes perfect sense to everyone somehow. And they celebrate in it. And it does something. Like, you produce change, you create change, but you may not always see it. And that's not easy. That's not an easy position to take. Because we're often, like, we're conditioned. I don't know, are we conditioned or are we just a kind of a natural instinct to want to see results in what it is that we put ourselves into. So, and look at, you make the change, the Wheel of Fortune, the change, everything changes because the energy changes too. I mean, that's a big part of it is you change the energy. You could walk into a room and change the energy. You could receive, and that could just be something too. As an antenna, sometimes you may just receive an energy download and just walking around and going places, you change the energy. And look at, and then it's beautiful. And then it becomes grounded. Like you are the antenna that grounds it into the earth and makes a change. This is really beautiful. I love ending this like this. And then what was this? This is at the bottom. We have the Nine of Cups. Empress. Four of Swords. And Seven of Swords. This is a different message here. These two cards coming together because we have talked about addictions. The Nine of Cups can be about that. It can be overindulgence. And this Empress is in deep water. So it is, okay. One of the ways I'm hearing here for you with these cards that are in the underline to kind of prevent yourself from being too pulled into interdimensional fantasies or visions is to incorporate the mind, is sleep. But there's things that you hide. Okay, that's hard too. So sleep is very, very important to you, and pulling away, like, because this can be very kind of meditative. This is like isolating your energy for others, the Four of Swords. You're not sharing your energy. But with the Seven of Swords, I do feel like you are not able in this lifetime to escape things that need to be addressed. They will come for you in your dreams with the Seven of Swords. You can't hide from these things. But they're really, but facing these things are meant for you to really find like your true happiness, your true abundance, your true beauty, your true creativity. That's, I can't pull out clarifiers for this because this is not that kind of a reading. And that's what I have. Monolith. That's what it's called. Oh my God. That's it, right? That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, I had to vacate for a second. A monolith, right? A monolithic structure. That's what those are. They do. I'm hearing they do exist. They're at least the ones for you, they're down in the ocean. Nobody's found them yet. That's a perfect spot for Pisces, though. Look at this Pisces and Aquarius energy sitting here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm almost like getting stuck into this dream state here. All right. There we go. That's it. I'm going to go do the extended. I'm kind of excited to see what that is because this is fun. This is kind of a fun reading. I'm so glad that Lilith, I don't want to look at it. Give me a look now. I don't want to know what she's got lined up. I just need a break for a while, Lilith, okay? All right. So I'm going to go do the extended. See what's over there. Thank you so much, my dreamy Liliths. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.